From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
You want to go where to buy a new refrigerator? Steve's A to Z Appliance in Cottonwood? In Cottonwood? Just a 10-minute drive. And they'll save us money. New and used, honest, reliable, factory-trained repair service and parts, and they'll save us money. And dispose of this thing? We gotta make the short drive to Steve's A to Z. Thanks, son.
Steve's A to Z Appliance, front and main streets in Cottonwood. Drive a little, save a lot.
Well, just as expected, those tickets have sold out, folks. Friday and Saturday are sold out at the Reading Rodeo. Wednesday and Thursday is still available, so you can go to readingrodeo.com to purchase your tickets, or you can call the box office here, area code 530-241-8559. And you can get those tickets. Yeah, quickly selling out there, folks. All right, we got increased fire danger, believe it or not. Yes, we're getting to that time of the year. So we're going to be taking a look at some of the maps, humidity, winds, the works, right, to kind of give you an idea what that fire danger is looking like. Could we see 100 degrees this week? It's still not out of the question. I'm backing down a little bit on that here, but overall, I do expect a peak in these temperatures by tomorrow before we see a downward trend in our temperatures going into the weekend. Also, a chance for some Sierra afternoon thunderstorms. We saw some yesterday down towards South Lake Tahoe. That, of course, could be the case again here as we go into this afternoon. But again, as I mentioned, cooling trend as we go into the end of the week and into this upcoming weekend as well. Here's your neighborhood forecast at a quick glance. Yes, it's warming up. We're talking we're kind of getting in that 96, 97 range maybe for some of us, but it's warming up, bottom line. Even in Trinity County around 90. For the coast, we're getting close to 70, but not just yet, and mainly in the 80s. There are some areas in some of those higher elevations. It'd be more like the upper 70s for today. But we are seeing kind of some clouds right here. Those will be moving through this morning. So yeah, a couple of passing high clouds, maybe a little bit more cloud cover for places like Siskiyou County, Modoc, kind of some of those high and mid-level clouds, but nothing major. No rain, no thunderstorms in the forecast there at this point. We take a look at Futurecast. Another thing monitoring here is the fog along the coast. We're starting off with clear skies, or mainly clear skies here for Del Norte County. It's trying to back off. I think we'll see more clearing for the Eureka area, but there still is going to be some fog kind of lingering around in some areas there. And then as we go into your Wednesday morning, looks pretty good actually. Wednesday afternoon looking pretty good as well. But again, see some of that fog just trying to persist and trying to make its way back towards the Eureka area. But for the most part, more sunshine for your Wednesday. And then it looks like we're seeing more of that marine layer coming on in, more fog coming into your Thursday, even making its way into many of those inland areas as well. Okay, I was talking about that fire danger. I want to just kind of mention to you that it's elevated. Not terribly concerned about everything at this point, but it's one of those things we have to monitor, and I got to kind of keep you informed with the current conditions. So we are seeing a bit of a wind, and I expect those winds from the north to kind of pick up a little bit here this afternoon. This is nothing major, but we could see gusts upwards of around 20 miles per hour. Now with that, you see this is the very dry, that's the brown indicating the dry conditions. So we've got low humidity on top of that. Now, you'll notice here as we go into your Wednesday, here's Wednesday morning, we're not seeing a ton of recovery from those humidities. Typically overnight, we see the humidity levels increase, and they are a little bit. We're not as deep in those browns. We're getting in those lighter shades of brown, but still a little breezy for your Wednesday morning. That means that it's going to be harder for us to recover from the lower humidity. On top of that, it's pretty warm too. That warmer air is moving in. So the warmest day will be on Wednesday. Again, notice the winds, not quite reaching that 20-mile-an-hour range, but again, just enough to kind of give us that north wind, and looks like it will be even drier by the time we get into your Wednesday. And then as we go into your Thursday morning, once again, we may see a little bit of recovery there, but look at the winds now. They're coming in from the south by the time we get into Thursday. That's going to help with the humidity recovery and decreasing that fire danger. So let's take a look at the fire risk. This is taking into account humidity, temperature, winds, all of that, right? So as we go into today, we're getting into some of those oranges, but we're kind of mainly within that moderate range here for today. But remember I was mentioning that it's getting hotter and drier for your Wednesday. So as we go into Wednesday, look, we're seeing more oranges on the map. So we're getting in that moderate to high range here for many of us in the valley. Again, do we need to be terribly super alarmed about this? No, but just be aware of the fact that the winds are picking up a little bit out of the north. Things are getting drier out there, but this is the good news. The only area that we're seeing at least the dry conditions here in the drought monitor is extreme northern California, which includes Wairika and Doris. And when we look at the entire state of California, there's another area in extreme southeastern California, right? But otherwise, because of the rain, and not to mention that snowpack, we're doing okay. But again, we've got to be aware of the fact that we are getting into that fire season. And when we start seeing those winds pick up and things dry out, we just got to keep an eye out for it. So there are those temperatures, right? This is that ridge of high pressure. But look what happens. Wednesday, it peaks a little bit. But then, as these storm systems to our north ride to our north, it's going to suppress that heat. So as we go into Thursday, Friday, into the weekend, this heat retreats and we begin to see our temperatures drop. So it peaks on Wednesday, and then see how temperatures are starting to drop as we go into the weekend. This area of low pressure continues to dive to the south and east, and we actually start to see some of that cooler air making its way into Northern California. Now, what does that mean? Of course, it just means the temperatures are going to drop, and we're going to be looking at significantly cooler weather. In fact, looking at the long-range outlook, look at that. We're in the blue. I mean, it's some lighter shades of blue. So what that indicates is that yes, we are going to see a chance of seeing below normal temperatures, which, by the way, the normal temperature in the valley is about 81, 82. So if we can get it down below that into the 70s, I mean, could that happen? Sure, as we get in the long range, as that cooler air moves in. But this heat that we're experiencing now, no need to worry, it's not going to be here forever. I mean, it's still going to be warm, right? We get up close to 100 degrees by tomorrow, but temperatures will start to slowly drop after that. Look at your wave heights as we go into today. They're actually starting to increase a little bit here, and we're really not seeing much change going into your Wednesday either. So looking at your marine forecast, yeah, the winds from the north at 15 to 25 knots, and your waves from the northwest at 9 feet at 9 seconds, and from the northwest at 3 feet at 13 seconds. But a small craft advisory through this afternoon. All right, so here is your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Your temperatures, yeah, right around 90 for some of those warmer spots, otherwise mid to upper 80s. 65 degrees in Eureka, 73 for Blue Lake, 63 degrees out in Shelter Cove. We take you up north, 82 degrees out in Smith River, 87 for Gas Key, but those 90s for many of those inland areas, although Orleans, a high of about 88. We take you out to Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, 87 for Happy Camp, 80 for Weed, and out towards some of those higher elevations, we're in the mid to upper 70s. Here's your Modoc County neighborhood forecast, 78 degrees for California Pines. I mean, yeah, some of us could touch 80. I mean, we're splitting hairs, but you get the idea. It's not going to be quite as warm for some of those higher elevations. Mainly in the 80s, though. You can see Westwood about 79, though. 81 degrees for Chester. Viola, 76, a bit warmer as you head down to that lower elevation at Shingletown at 3,500 feet with a high of 84, 86 degrees for a high in Paradise. And how about your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by NorCal Tractor? Ooh, look at these temperatures. They're getting warmer. 95 degrees for Corning, 95 for Los Molinos. Orland, about 96. And kind of on the west side of the valley there in the low 90s. Now we take you up north. We got 96 for Redding, 95 Anderson, as well as Red Bluff. There's about 90 out in Whiskeytown and 94 in Lakehead. So let's take a look at your 7-day outlook. Now I've backed off. Remember yesterday I had a high of 100 degrees for Redding on Wednesday. Still not out of the question, but I'm seeing in the models here kind of just slowly shaving off a few more degrees from what we were expecting here even just yesterday. And temperatures continue to drop. Look at this. For Thursday, a high of 93. Really, tomorrow, a high of 99, right? Then we're down to 87 Sunday. Monday of next week, down to 84 degrees.